And so what we're saying is
it's dangerous.
It's very well. Why do we not see it? Okay, and I say all the time, why do people not realize that married people? You'll never see married people in a clinic or a hospital for a disease.
Well, in this day, you can.
No. Married people.
Oh, okay. All right.
Married people.
Everybody that's together is not.
Married people.
Oh, I hear you.
So you'll never see married people with a sexually transmitted disease, because that's the only place that sex is for. So it doesn't matter how many condoms you strap on. You can wrap yourself in saran wrap, all that stuff, whatever you want to do out. If you're not married, disease is imminent. It's coming. And so it's not because, and people think because, well, okay, I can put on protection. You can try to. But that's not why you get a disease. You're not getting a disease because somebody's dirty or because they didn't bathe, because they're nasty. Because the average person is going to take a shower every day. And the people that you're out there dating with, obviously they didn't stink, or you wouldn't have got that far.
I promise.
So AIDS doesn't have a look. It doesn't have a design. It just, the only design on it is sin. Okay, so you keep tapping with sin, and that's what opens this plethora of diseases. So people don't get diseases because people are nasty. You get disease because Jesus said the wage of sin is death. So when you tap with sin, you get the result of sin. So diseases are born out of sin, not because sex is bad. No, you're not having sex if you're not married. All you're doing is creating some death. So you're stirring a pot of death. That's all you're doing. And so now you have syphilis, gonorrhea, AIDS, herpes, all these different things, and some things that we can't even name. Body parts falling off of people, and people having, and then people wonder why when they get to a certain age they're having different problems and things. It's because, guys, we were playing in things before we were married, and so the result of those things are now, that's what it is. And so if you continue to live that lifestyle, then you're asking those things to come to you. You're telling God not to protect you. You're not covered in sin. We are not covered in sin.
Say that again, because people believe we are.
We are not covered in sin.
And let me tell you what they covered that up with. Oh, grace and mercy.
I know it. You already did.
Yes.
And that's not, if anybody has a question about that, you tap in and ask, because I will elaborate. But we're gonna keep moving right here, and I hope you guys out there listening, if you ask questions, I can go directly to what you want. So open up those lines, and just start calling and asking questions. Thank you guys that are asking the questions right now, and because I want to go directly to what you want to hear, because somebody out there is asking the same question. Don't be shy, don't be shallow, ask the real questions, because we're going in over here.
Yeah, we're going in. We're already in, as you can see. The preacher's coming out. I pray we get to hear some of the psalmists come out as well. This is a hot show. I'm sitting in my seat jumping like a little girl in a candy store. Okay, let me give that number out to you again. That number for you to call in is 214-556-6239. Again, that number is 214-556-6239. Let's go over some of the whys in the book and see if we can get some act right out of you, kind sir. Why men misunderstand manhood?
Well, men misunderstand manhood because, unfortunately, life is what it is, and you have a lot of good men out there. And I want ladies to understand, I am in no way putting men down or putting women down. My whole purpose of writing this book, or any word that I speak, is to break the chains off of people, to expose the lie that we tell ourselves, and so that the chains can be broken off your life, so that you can live the life that God intends for you to live. And He has a wonderful plan. So when we misunderstand manhood, it's because there are not enough fathers in the world. And I understand that there are some people out there that want to change the concept, and I'm not mad at you, because it doesn't matter. You can call it what you want. You can call it a father or dad. The reason I use the term father is because that's what Jesus used. So some people use the term dad, and they think that that's a more intimate setting. But the father is what Jesus used, so that's why I use the word father.
Amen.
So we don't have enough fathers. And in other words, if our Father is not teaching us the way of God, and being that example, and then sitting and teaching us how to do things, how to value life, how to understand that the moment is just all we have is right now, and how to maximize every moment, how to love God and seek after Him and follow after Him among all things, and then how to value and treasure the moments of life and people, then when we get to you, then we would know how to act. So when we come and take you as a girlfriend or a wife, and we don't understand how to treat you, is because nobody sat and taught us and how to act and how to actually appreciate you, and to understand that you're this priceless jewel, and that it's a privilege to be in your company, and it's a privilege to have you to say that you would choose me back to be my wife. That is a privilege. And so if we don't understand that priceless treasure that you are, it just not only in context with dealing with women, we won't know how to live. So when you see a 40-year-old man still just hanging, he gets off of work every day, and he thinks that he's supposed to stop by the bar and have a drink before he gets home to his wife. Okay, he doesn't understand manhood. What man in his right mind would want to go to a bar over his woman whom he used to lust over, whom he used to look at and say, "Ooh, I can't wait to touch you," and now he can't wait to get to a 12-ounce bottle over you? And he would sometimes stay there at that bar and take 6 or 7 more drinks because he's decided you're too much for him to deal with at home, because he doesn't understand manhood, because daddy did not teach him that, son, loving a woman is not about how you feel. And when she tells you what she wants, you can't cry like a little snotty-nosed boy and run off and pout because she's not telling you how great you are today. So when on the days that she's not complimenting you, don't you cower down and run away from her, because she's asking you for what she needs and what she desires. She wants you to lead her. She wants you to love her. She wants you to protect her. She wants you to provide for her. She wants you to lay down your silliness, your foolishness, to make sure that you're bringing all of you home. She doesn't expect you to come home in a drunken stupor. She don't expect you to come home with lipstick on your collar. She expects you to come home the way that you left. Right. Your suit should be intact. Your clothes should be intact, and your mind should be intact. She doesn't expect you to come home and mess up the temperature in the house because you had a bad day at work. You leave that work at work. So when we don't understand manhood, we mess up our children. We mess up our wives because we let our little boy emotions keep us from being men. And men can deal with our emotions because we stay in God's face, and you don't get those negative emotions. When I get to you, when God deals with me, it's the same way it is when sunshine is always in our lives. Hey baby, how you doing? Glad to see you. I'm coming to you first. I'm not coming to the bottle first. I'm not coming to my friends first, or my mom's house, or nobody's house. I'm coming straight home because you're the one that I promised to love, to lead, to buy. You're the one that I promised to cherish and honor and all the. What happened to it? What happens is if I didn't understand manhood, and my father didn't take the time to show me, to raise me, and stay in my ear with the things of God, the things of wisdom that come from God, then all I know how to do to you is damage you and abandon you.
Woo! My God, that was let me give the number out again. 214-556-6239. It's getting hot up in here. Yeah, you said it. There's no more I can add to that, and that's just what that is. So how do we come to the point that we are in marriages, are in relationships, and it's because people are not really fully who they are? Here's another question here. Why you should never follow the 90-day sex rule. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Why shouldn't you?
And I know I've heard this go around, and I've heard some different people talk about it. And to tell you point blank, I haven't read any of these other books because not out of any other reason besides the fact that I don't want to cross my thoughts that God is giving me and have it seem as though I'm trying to rebuttal somebody or say something to argue a point that they're arguing. But while I was watching the movie, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, they talked about the 90-day rule, and he's talking about that in it, and I'm not really sure exactly. I guess, but from what the movie states, it's appearing as though he's saying, wait at least 90 days and see where the man is at, and if you feel like you want to have sex with him, then so I can't quote it because I haven't read it. Right. But in the movie, that's what they make us speak like. Yeah. And then there are other people that, and this is nothing new. The 90-day rule is not new. Women have been talking about these things for a while, for years. Yes. So nothing is new. Anything that we talk about or deal with, it doesn't matter what it is, it's not new. So everything that we deal with is just means that now we've experienced it and God has given us permission to talk about it, or we choose to talk about it, whichever one. So what I have to talk to you ladies from the perspective of my father.
Supernatural. We're in the supernatural
Yeah, so
zone.
I'm going to speak to you both spiritually and naturally all throughout this at the same time. So you just have to fly with me. It's not hard to keep up. So if you're out there and you're thinking that there's any certain time limit, I don't care if you call it 180 days, I don't care if you call it 365 days, the only time period that you have on giving your body to a man is when after the wedding ceremony. Okay, yes, I hear you all around the world. I hear you. Harlon, my hormones are raging. I can't wait that long. I want to have sex with him. I want to. I'm feeling him. It feels right. I like what he's saying to me. Everything feels right. He seems like everything is. What does that have to do with what your father said? Now, I can understand that if you tell me you are not a believer and you don't care about what God says, then I understand your position on that. But for those of you ladies out there that say you love the Lord, okay, then that means that you would want to do what is pleasing to him, and that means that he said that no man should touch your priceless body until he puts a ring on your finger, and after not just put a ring on there, the wedding ring, and after the wedding ceremony, at the honeymoon, that's when we're supposed to see, that go down. So it's not supposed to go down. So how do you deal with that? If you're just waiting 90 days, if you just tell guy, hey, I'm waiting 90 days, don't you know he'll have sex with somebody else for 89 days and then have sex with you on the 90th day? Are you serious? Did you just wake up today? No. Or if you're going to tell him that, or even if that's in your mind and you're thinking that, you're not, if he's not true to you, if he's a real man, he's not even thinking about when he's going to get to have sex with you. Yes, absolutely, I hear you. Our hormones are raging. We want to have sex with you from day one because you're beautiful, you're fine, I'm attracted to you. But that just because I can doesn't mean I should. And so, just because I need money doesn't mean I'm supposed to go rob a bank. Just because a kid tells you that if a 10-year-old kid tells you, Mom, I want to have sex, are you going to tell him it's okay? No. So just because, does that mean that he can't do it? He can do it. Or they can do it. You have 11-year-old girls pregnant. So that means they can do it, but does that make it right? Just because somebody wants to smoke crack, does that mean that they should? No. So guys, if it's not right, if it doesn't work, why would we do it? So yes, it's hard, and if you put yourself in that situation, absolutely something can happen.
Down.
It could happen.
Not could. It's going down.
It could happen to anybody. I don't care if you're single and saved. I don't care if you're
married and saved.
It doesn't matter. It could happen to anybody if you allow yourself to be put in that situation.
Exactly.
And so that's why we need to understand when we're dating. Boundaries. Dating is not about sex.
Go ahead. Tell what is it about?
Dating is an interview.
You don't have the job.
You don't know. Guys, okay. Listen here. If you want to buy a Maserati, let's go even higher than that, because I'm not. Let's go Bentley on this thing, all right?
Yes.
If you want to buy a Bentley, you do not get to walk up in that car dealership and say, I want to take this car and keep it for a month and drive it, or I'm going to drive it to Vegas, I'm going to drive it to LA, I'm going to drive it to New York, I'm going to do all of this, and then I'm going to decide if I want to buy it. You're going to get thrown out of there.
Yeah, by the police.
You don't get to test the merchandise before you understand the value of it and you have made the purchase. So why would you let somebody walk up to your priceless body that God gave his life for and let somebody walk up to you and pimp you for 15 minutes of fame?
Oh, he said,
or why would you prostitute yourself out for 15 minutes of fame, or the infamous, all right, disaster?
We got a call, and that was pretty high. Hey, you on the CaSoundra Brown Real Talk? Who do we have on the air? Yes. Are you listening in to the show and see how hot this thing have really gone?
I'm sad because I can't get on, but go ahead.
Do you want to say anything while we do have you on the air? Now, you're a lady. Are you married or single?
I'm single.
Okay, now what are you experiencing out there as a single woman? Are you saved or no?
I'm saved.
Okay, so you're saved and you're single. How's that working out for you out there?
It's working out wonderful.
Okay, being that, are you dating someone right now?
I am, but I'm not. So yes and no.
Okay, please help us out with that.
Yeah, clarify that.
Yes, please.
Okay, well, I'm dating someone, but I'm kind of like on hold because we're not on the same page right now.
So why would you even go back to that? Why would you even have that on hold? Why would you even have that? Why haven't you just decided that's just not the one?
It's not that I haven't decided that he's not the one, but I'm not waiting on him, but I'm not looking as well. Does that make sense?
What that means is that you're caught in an emotional tug of war, and what that basically means is like and this is the thing I don't understand about ladies. When it's if you walk into a department store or a restaurant or any place in this world and they don't get your order right, they don't get your if you walk out of there and your clothes is not right that you just bought, you are going immediately back into that restaurant or back into that store, and you are going to demand to see management till you get that thing right. They're going to get your money back, or they're going to get your outfit right, they're going to get your food right, they're going to everything that's supposed to be done. So you would do that in a moment, in a blink of an eye. So why is it that when ladies see a man and this man is trying to step to you, but you already know you don't want a half man, you don't want a playboy, you don't want a toy, you don't want a part-time man, you want a full-time God man. So why is it that if a man steps to you and he does not have the qualifications that says that, because see, when a man steps to you, if he's for real, you don't have to guess, you don't have to figure out, none of that. Yeah. Everything will add up. If whatever comes out of his mouth should add up with every action that he has. And when a man is for real, he's going to step to you and says, when he steps to you, you're going to know from day one that he is not there to play. He's going to because see, this is what ladies don't understand about men. We know from the moment we approach you exactly what we are going to do. We know our motive, we know our intention, we know our desire, we know if we want to play with it or stay with it. We know, we've already seen. You guys think that you fall in love faster. It's not true. Men, because see, you can't fall in love. See, ladies need to stop falling in love.
Oh, yes.
Because see, what that means is you it's emotional. And so we don't get love by emotion. Love walks up to me and only gives to me. Love only walks up to me and builds me up. Love doesn't walk up to me and take away my peace, my time, my joy. It doesn't do anything that's going to take anything away from me. Love only knows how to add to me. So if that relationship, that person that's trying to step to me, if they're not bringing, when they talk to me, when their actions proceed, they're not going to do anything that's opposite of giving to me. They're not going to ask me to compromise. They're not going to ask me to do anything that we should not be doing. There's no reason I should be playing house with you and we're not married. As kids we played house and stuff like that because we played doctors and all that kind of stuff and all these different things. We call it play house. There's no way that we should be playing house when you have not stepped up in here with a commitment mindset and put a ring on the finger and say, you know what? I am not here to play with you. When I saw you, I wanted to get to know you. Now, in other words, what I'm saying is, when a man gets to a woman, after we've decided to step to you, if we know we want to marry you, all we're doing from that point on is we're courting you to marry you, and then we marry you to date you for the rest of your life.
Well, now.
Amen.
Okay, sis.
Amen.
So that's the deal. You can't be somewhat dating but not dating, and the reason you're not is because you're on different plans. If he's on a different plan, he's not the guy. And again, we want to fix him. We can't fix him. That's up to God. If what their parents didn't do, God gonna have to do the rest because we can't do it. So let's just say faithfully that you're single and you're happy and you're single and you're not dating, because that leave that alone. Trust you me, if it's not right now, it won't be right later.
No, it gets worse.
Yeah.
And the more we get off into it, the worse and the harder it is to get rid of a wrong thing. And that's how we end up having people
stuck.
Stalkers and people that won't leave us alone and things of this nature, people messing with our lives. Because see, if I walk away from you and we have never had sex, all I have to do is delete your number. I don't have to delete diseases. I don't have to delete a baby.
Emotions.
I don't have to worry about the emotions, the soul ties.
Yes.
And so all I have lost is a few days knowing you. So that's why dating is an interview. If that interview does not check out, then you delete that person and you keep going. Because see, when God sends a man to apprehend you, see, God said, Paul explained to us, he said, it's not that I have apprehended it, but it apprehended me. See, God apprehended me. I didn't apprehend him.
Yes.
He chased me. And so that's the way a man is. A man that God sends to you, he looks like God. Does that mean he's perfect, Harlon? Absolutely not. But he's going to be waking up every day trying to get closer to it every step he takes.
Well,
amen. Good teaching.
Yeah.
Good teaching.
You heard it on the CaSoundra Brown Real Talk. Do your best to try to chime in because it's a hot show and you don't want to miss nothing the man of God is saying on today. But do thanks for calling in, okay?
Thank you.
And remember, you're not dating nobody. Amen.
Bye.
Thank you.
Be blessed.
Thank
All right then. Yeah, it's getting hot up in here. Yes, it is. God is all right with me today. Let's go over. We broke off and just went straight on in. Oh, you did explain how did this book come about. You wanted to just do something different. And so how, okay, let's convince the listeners that they need this book and they need it as quick as yesterday.
Okay. And guys, I'm not throwing shade at anybody, but there's a book out there, that you ladies were very hot on. The movie came out. I don't have to tell you what it was, and a lot of people were disappointed in the movie, but this book sold over 50 million plus copies, worldwide,
And still selling.
And so what I'm saying is that, there was nothing about this guy that was right. He had, and ladies, you deserve money, you deserve the security all of that money brings and all of that.